You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans, we have got some exciting new spoilers for next week. We are going to talk about Sheila brawling with Poppy and just how bad things get between them, and somebody returning to deal with Liam's diagnosis turning deadly. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we have got some of the latest B&B spoilers for the week of April 14th. And if you're not already following us, please click that subscribe button. All right, so as this week closed out, we saw Grandma Sheila urging Luna to get Will to think with a different part of his anatomy rather than his brain. She said, get him to think with his other head. Oh, Sheila basically told Luna to use sex, wrap Will around her little finger. It's kind of sketchy advice for a grandma to give a grandkid, but hey, it is Psycho Sheila, she of the 9 toes. So when a pizza order from Forrester Creations came in, Sheila told Luna to deliver it, and she popped in over there wearing a hilariously stupid disguise complete with a mustache that looks straight out of Super Mario Brothers. And Luna went over to Forrester Creations with the pizza and was eavesdropping on Will and Elektra. And then Luna popped in after Elektra left and told Will that she has what he wants, and it's hot and spicy. She's not even being subtle, and there's nothing sexier than a chick in a fake mustache, right? So next week, we're going to pick up with Luna in the dressing room with Will, and it looks like she is pulling out things from the Brooks bedroom line because she's in a little sexy bra and panty set, and we all know that Will is about to combust because his hormones are out of control. Luna gets all seductive and asks him what she should try on first, and of course Will's surprised, and I do wonder how long he's going to be able to resist Luna. He is a Spencer male after all, and we know they have very little self-control. She's standing half naked in front of him in sexy stuff, and Will is clearly struggling with his self-control, even though he keeps telling Elektra he can be patient. That does not seem to be accurate though, because Will keeps pushing past her comfort zone. Also next week, Luna's insane mom Poppy shows up at Il Giardino, and Sheila is enraged to see her son's skeevy aunt at their establishment. She calls Poppy a slut for sleeping with Finn when he was barely a legal adult and then keeping his daughter from him. We all knew there was going to be a huge showdown once Sheila found out that her new pal Poppy was shagging her son Finn. I mean, it was kind of insane for Poppy to make friends with Sheila, knowing what she did with her biological son was probably going to come out. Poppy was playing with fire, ever getting friendly with Sheila, and now Poppy's about to get burned. And you can't really blame Sheila. I mean, Lee choked the crap out of Poppy and was thinking about killing her, but stopped short and let her go. And Sheila is a lot more volatile than Lee. So next week, Poppy is clapping back after Sheila says some nasty things to her, and Poppy tells Sheila she's heard about all the crimes she's done over the years. And, you know, why is Poppy again playing with fire, knowing what a diabolical criminal that she is? Why not just shut up and walk away and consider herself lucky? Sheila is going to do a classic Bold and the Beautiful move and shove some dessert in Poppy's face. It has been a minute since we had a good lady cake brawl on the CBS soap, and this is not the first one we've had at Il Giardino, by the way. You might remember Sally and Steffi's epic food fight at Il Giardino several years back. It was captured on a cell phone and made headlines, went viral. So we'll see if the same thing happens when Sheila and Poppy are fighting with food. We'll also see if Sheila gets the better of Poppy or if Lee's scrappy sister fights back hard. Looks like Poppy is going to join Carter on the list of people banned from Il Giardino soon. And I'm curious to see if it's Deacon or somebody else that breaks up fight. And things begin to look even more dire for Liam Spencer on Bold and the Beautiful next week. He, of course, doesn't want the kids or anybody else to know about his brain bleed, but Kelly Spencer is really looking forward to their daddy-daughter dance. You know what's funny about this dance? Because they've mentioned it a few times, I went to look because it just seemed kind of a strange thing for California. And it was, as I suspected, that starting from back back in like the late 90s, they really stopped doing daddy-daughter dances in a lot of areas of California because they're not considered inclusive for those that don't have dads or have non-traditional families. So I found it pretty interesting that they keep bringing this up in LA. Maybe I would assume she's probably in a private school. Maybe it's a little different there. I don't know, but it seems way too traditional for a lot of the stuff that goes on. Anyway, Steffi has to give Kelly the tough news that she doesn't think Liam is going to make it to the father-daughter dance, and poor Kelly is understandably upset. Meanwhile, over at the hospital, Finn meets with two other doctors. We already had Dr. Grace Buckingham working on Liam's case, and next week, Ashley Jones is back as Dr. Bridget Forrester. The ladies talk to Finn, who reiterates that Liam is lucky to be alive. Both Bridget and Grace tell Finn that Liam's brain injury is inoperable, and he looks completely stunned. So I wonder if this is still the brain bleed or if it's something more like a tumor they found in the scans that caused the brain bleed, or some scar tissue from the previous head injuries. The brain bleed seems to be a symptom. So I wonder if they're going to reveal the underlying cause. And I also really wonder if Finn is going to have to keep this horrible news from Steffi. Obviously, Finn knows hearing that something dire and inoperable going on with Liam would crush Steffi, and he may want to protect her, but he's a pretty honest guy. However, if the doctors tell Liam that his condition isn't fixable when Steffi's not in the room, then he may tell the doctors to keep that secret from her too, and they would have no choice. So Liam may push on Finn to keep this secret from Steffi, but of course, that could eventually blow up in Finn and Liam's faces because Steffi would be furious with both of them. And, given what's going on in his brain, I just don't think that Liam is making the best decisions, but the doctors have no choice but to do what he says, and that includes Finn. And right now, it seems to me like B&B is writing this medical condition as possibly fatal for Liam, which is just preposterous from the jump. They're not going to kill off his character. And given that we're 2 weeks away from the start of May sweeps, I would expect to see Steffi upset and Liam's health crisis turning dire, but don't start picking up funeral flowers just yet. They're not gonna kill him. We'll talk about it more in the predictions this week. Be sure to check out our full weekly spoilers video for the week of April 14th through the 18th, coming later this weekend.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.